Hello students. In the previous video I have discussed about the glycolysis pathway, one of the most important carbohydrate metabolic pathway. In this video I am going to discuss about another important pathway, that is Krebs cycle. Okay, Krebs cycle, it is also called as it is also called as citric acid cycle or tricarboxylic acid cycle. This cycle was identified by Hans Krebs. Okay, the Krebs cycle starts with the pyruvate. Starts with the pyruvate. The pyruvate is evolved from the glycolysis pathway. We already know that glycolysis is nothing but glucose converted into pyruvate. That means it forms two pyruvates. Okay, total two pyruvates will be evolved. Okay, this pyruvate in the aerobic condition, in anaerobic condition, what will happen? This pyruvate in the presence of low oxygen, it will be converted to lactic acid in the presence of enzyme, that is lactic dehydrogenase enzyme. Okay, elevation level of lactic dehydrogenase enzyme, it is a disease condition. So the patient may be suffering with the cardiac related diseases. Okay, it is a reversible process. That lactic acid, again it will be converted to pyruvic acid by using the same enzyme, that is a same enzyme, that is lactic dehydrogenase enzyme. So in aerobic condition, this pyruvate will be converted into the acetyl CoA. This acetyl CoA will enter into the this this acetyl CoA will enter into the Krebs cycle. Okay, so in the aerobic condition, the pyruvate will enter into the Krebs cycle. The pyruvate will help with the help of pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. It converts the acid. It converts into acetyl CoA. This is called actually transition state. Right, the glucose in the glycolysis will convert to pyruvate, and pyruvate with the help of LDH will be converted to lactic acid in anaerobic reaction. In aerobic reaction, with the help of pyruvate dehydrogenase complex, PDH means this this PDH. This PDH is nothing but pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. This pyruvate dehydrogenase complex will convert the pyruvate into acetyl CoA. This acetyl CoA combined with oxaloacetate, it is an important substrate in the Krebs cycle, and forms these two, that acetyl CoA and acetyl coenzyme A and oxaloacetate fuse together and form a important intermediate, that is citrate. Okay, actually this is the starting substrate of Krebs cycle. Right, this is the starting substrate of the Krebs cycle. Starting substrate of Krebs cycle. So to form the citrate, so that oxaloacetate and the acetyl, that is oxaloacetate is a 4 carbon compound, and acetyl CoA coenzyme A, it is a 2 carbon compound. Both will fuse to form what? Citrate. Okay, this citrate is the starting material. So by remembering one sentence, it's a shortcut in the Krebs cycle. If you remember that sentence, we can able to remember all the intermediates which are present in the which are participating in the Krebs cycle. So we know that citrate is the starting material. With the help of that starting material only, we can frame one sentence, that is citrate is Krebs starting substrate for making oxaloacetate. Okay, this is a sentence. If you remember that, we can remember all the intermediate present in the Krebs cycle. So citrate is nothing but citrate. Is nothing but isocitrate. Actually citrate will form isocitrate by using the enzyme aconitase, and from the isocitrate it will form that is Krebs is nothing but alpha ketoglutarate. Krebs. The first word is K, so it is a alpha ketoglutarate. So from isocitrate to alpha ketoglutarate, so we will use the enzyme that is isocitrate dehydrogenase. We will see in the cycle also. So from alpha ketoglutarate we will form succinyl CoA, succinyl coenzyme A. So again we will use one more dehydrogenase enzyme, that is alpha ketoglutarate. So here starting the S denotes what? Starting the S denotes the S is nothing but succinyl CoA. So another substrate, that is S, it is nothing but succinate. From succinyl CoA to form succinate we will use succinyl CoA synthetase enzyme. So from succinate we will form a fumarate. So here actually substrate for F is fumarase enzyme. So next actually we will talk about the for making oxalate. M is nothing but malate. So from fumarate to malate we will use from fumarate to malate we will use an enzyme, that is fumarase. So we will get a malate, and from malate it will form oxalate, that is oxaloacetate is nothing but oxaloacetate by using the enzyme malate dehydrogenase enzyme. Okay, so this is the sentence to remember what? So to remember the substrate. So again I am repeating. So citrate is nothing but citrate, yeast is nothing but isocitrate, Krebs is nothing but alpha glutarate, starting is nothing but succinyl CoA, substrate is nothing but succinate, for is nothing but fumarate, and making is nothing but malate, oxaloacetate is nothing but oxaloacetate. To remember the enzymes, actually this is a sentence to remember what? To remember intermediates. So to remember what enzymes, so we have to remember one more sentence, that is a festival in the South Africa, that is Cinco de Dec, and one more festival is Cindy Fumer Day. Here day is nothing but dehydrogenase enzyme. Okay, D is nothing but dehydrogenase enzyme. So we know sin is nothing but actually citrate synthesis. So for synthesizing citrate, so oxalated acetate will combine with acetyl CoA. So citrate is synthesizing, so the first enzyme is nothing but citrate synthase. So enzyme help to synthesize what? Citrate. So citrate synthesis sin is nothing but citrate synthesis. Next one, co is nothing but aconitase, where the citrate is converting to isocitrate. So D is nothing but that isocitrate is converting to alpha ketoglutarate. So dehydrogenase enzyme is reacting with isocitrate, so it is called isocitrate dehydrogenase enzyme to form what? Alpha ketoglutarate. So that alpha ketoglutarate will form succinyl CoA. So the enzyme is called alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase. So another D. So next another sin is nothing but succinyl CoA synthetase. So which is helpful to form what? It is helpful to form synthesizing succinate. Okay, next one more D is dehydrogenase. Which dehydrogenase? It is succinate dehydrogenase, which is helpful to form fumarate. Okay, so next fumarate, fumer. So next word is fumer. So it is a fumarase enzyme where this fumarate will form what? Malate. Okay, next at last dehydrogenase, where the malate dehydrogenase will form oxaloacetate. Right, this is the sentence used to remember what? Cycle of the Krebs cycle. So the Krebs cycle actually. Right, so now we will see the cycle. Okay, it is a Krebs cycle. So I already discussed the pyruvate is the starting material for what? Sorry, not starting material. Pyruvate is responsible for to start the Krebs cycle. Okay, so 2 moles of pyruvates will be synthesized in the glycolysis pathway that will enter into the mitochondria. The pyruvate will be synthesized in the cytoplasm that will enter into the mitochondria with the help of enzyme that is pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. Right, this will be converted into acetyl coenzyme A. So acetyl coenzyme A, it is a coenzyme, right? This is a 2 carbon substrate. Okay, this acetyl coenzyme A will fused with okay, this acetyl coenzyme A will fuse with oxaloacetate and forms what? Citrate, by using the enzyme that is citrate synthase. This is enzyme used to form what? Okay. It will form citrate. Okay, from citrate actually it will form second product that is called isocitrate by using the enzyme acoutinase. Okay, acoutinase is an important enzyme. When we block that acoutinase, it will never form isocitrate. So during rat poisoning, the rat poison contains a fluoroacetate. Okay, this will inhibit the acoutinase enzyme, right? If it inhibit the acoutinase enzyme, it won't form isocitrate. Okay. Next, so isocitrate will forms next product that is called alpha ketoglutarate or alpha ketoglutarate. This isocitrate will form alpha ketoglutarate. So isocitrate is a 6-member six member compound, 6 carbon compound, and alpha ketoglutarate is a 5 carbon compound. This 5 carbon compound. Okay, here it is 1 carbon is less. Okay, 1 carbon less. So when 1 carbon is less in the alpha ketoglutarate, that means it is so something is happening in the pathway, that carbon is eliminating as a CO2. This carbon is eliminating as CO2. So it is called decarboxylation process. So here the enzyme we are using is isocitrate dehydrogenase. We already discussed in the previous lecture that if it is a dehydrogenase enzyme, so either NAD plus will be converted to NADH, or FAD plus is converting to FADH2, or NADP plus will be converted to NADPH. So it is a dehydrogenase, so it will oxidize isocitrate and itself get reduced. Okay, so it is taking a hydrate from isocitrate and will be added to the NAD plus and forms what? And forms NAD plus. It forms NAD plus. It forms NAD plus. Okay, so here actually it forms alpha ketoglutarate, which is a 5 carbon structure. This 5 carbon structure means is 1 carbon less, so 1 carbon will be eliminated as a CO2. From alpha ketoglutarate it will form succinyl CoA. So succinyl CoA, so the enzyme used is alpha keto dehydrogenase. The enzyme it is using is alpha keto dehydrogenase. So in the product actually it is a succinyl CoA. Okay, so here we are adding coenzyme A. So we are adding coenzyme A into the reaction. So to the succinyl coenzyme will be added. So alpha keto dehydrogenase is nothing but actually it is taking hydrate from alpha ketoglutarate and it is adding to NAD plus to form NADH, right? And actually this succinyl CoA is a 4 carbon, so one of the carbon will be eliminated as a CO2, right? So from alpha ketoglutarate it forms a succinyl CoA. From succinyl CoA it will form from succinyl From succinyl CoA it will form succinate. So the important enzyme used here is succinyl CoA synthetase. Okay, so here it will form succinate. So when we see succinyl CoA, and when we say succinate, so there is a loss of coenzyme. So when anything is releasing coenzyme, so automatically it will release some sort of energy. Okay, so energy in the form of inorganic phosphate. This inorganic phosphate will be added to GDP. This GDP will take this inorganic phosphate, this inorganic phosphate, and it will form GTP. So the immediate next step is that ADP will snatch the inorganic phosphate from GDP and it will form ATP. Okay, so this process is called substrate level phosphorylation. Okay, this is called substrate level phosphorylation. In the substrate level, phosphorylation will take place and release some energy, and it is not oxidative phosphorylation. In oxidative phosphorylation, lot of energy will be released. Okay, so when anything is releasing the coenzyme, automatically it will release inorganic phosphate. That phosphate will be utilized to form energy. The phosphate will be utilized to form energy, right? Next, from the succinate it will form fumarate. Okay, so from succinate it is forming fumarate. The enzyme it is here it is using is succinate dehydrogenase. So we come across many dehydrogenase. Here it is succinate dehydrogenase, where the NAD plus will be converted to NADH, and NADP plus will be converted to NADPH. But here the FAD will be converted to FADH2. So whatever it may be, whatever it may be, that NAD plus will be converted to NADH, or FAD plus will be converted to here FAD is converting to FADH2. So after the immediately it will form the fumarate. Okay, the same number carbons, it is a 4 carbon, succinate is a 4 carbon, fumarate is also 4 carbon. Okay, from the fumarate it will form malate by using the enzyme fumarase. Nothing important, it will add water. In the presence of water, the fumarate will be converted to malate. Okay, next that malate will be converted to oxaloacetate by using the malate dehydrogenase enzyme. So it will convert NAD plus to NADH, right? This next step, this oxaloacetate will be fused with the oxaloacetate will fused with the acetyl CoA and form citrate by using the enzyme citrate synthesis. Actually this is a cyclic process. So when we observe the energetics here, so here total per reaction 3 NADH and 1 FADH2 and 1 ATP is formed. So the reaction will be going twice because 2 acetyl CoA is there. So everything is into 2. So total 6 NADH and 2 FADH and 2 ATPs will be there, and there will be 4 CO2s. Okay, so total 6 CoA will be possible. Coenzyme will precipitate. Okay, right? This is the energetic also. Thank you. So we actually forgot to discuss about the energetics of energetic to the glycolysis. Okay, so we already know in the beginning the ATPs are utilized. So in the middle actually 2 moles of glycerol 3 phosphate will be formed. So there total 4 ATPs will be generated. Total 4 ATPs will be generated, but in the beginning 2 ATPs are released. Utilized. 4 ATPs are released and 2 ATPs are utilized. So net ATP will be 2, right? So 4 ATPs here, 1 ATP is utilized and 1 ATP here also utilized. Okay, sorry. Here actually two ATPs are released, and here also two ATPs are released. Total 4 ATPs are there. 4 ATPs. Okay. Among that, in the beginning, 2 ATPs are utilized. So total net is 2 ATPs. Okay. How many NADPH? So here 2 NADPH are released. Okay. This is the thing. This is the energetics of glycolysis pathway. Thank you, students.